Phil Spencer, the head of Xbox, just took a dig at the PS5 Pro. Let's get into it. Let's see what he said.
Let's go.
So last week, Phil Spencer made a little subtle dig at the PS5 Pro price, saying we're not growing the market with $1,000 consoles. And he's got a point. Do you think that prices for consoles are growing out of control? I mean, we've got the PS5 Pro now at $700, and if the PS5 Pro is going to be $700, you can put your damn money on the fact that the PS6 is going to cost more, $800, $900, $1,000. And I think he's got a point. I think there's a limit to what we're willing to pay for consoles. Obviously, it's not a smartphone. It's not something we could take around with us. It doesn't let us browse social media. It doesn't let us, text people, call people. It doesn't do everything that a smartphone can. So at what point is enough for consoles, right? Obviously, if you want to go on the deep end and get the best experience you can from gaming, then of course you could build a gaming PC like I have. I love my gaming PC, but it's a high barrier to entry because it's about $2,000 to $3,000 upwards if you want to get a really top tier experience. Whereas the PS5 and a lot of consoles, they give you close to that experience at a fraction of the price. And I think around the $500 price point, $300 to $600, I think, is the golden point, and I think that's where consoles should stay as far as price is concerned. And I kind of worry about the console gaming industry as a whole now that Xbox is taking a step back, because PlayStation have no competition at this point. PlayStation it's literally a one-horse race, and what happens when it's a one-horse race and when there's only one company making something as big as the definitive number one console to get that handles all the new games, is they start taking advantage of that, right? They're like, well, Xbox isn't going to compete with us. They're not putting out a competitor to the PS6. So we're literally the only console manufacturer at this point that can play top tier AAA brand new releases. So since we've not got no competition, let's hike the price up to $600, $700, $800, $900, because who do we have to compete with? That is why monopolization is really bad. When there's only one person in any sort of industry and there's no competition to that person, they could start taking liberty, start taking advantage of consumers. And that's what we're starting to see here with PlayStation, right? So Phil Spencer basically said that, we're not growing the market with $1,000 consoles. But to be fair, the reason why Sony were comfortable in doing this is because they knew Xbox didn't have an alternative to the PS5 Pro. They know Xbox is kind of out of the game. Xbox isn't choosing to fight Sony on their territory, right? Now, you guys never bought Xboxes enough. It's your fault that Sony's hiking the prices. But yeah, this is a big, deeper discussion we can get into in the comment section. I'd love to see what you think about this, whether Sony's starting to take advantage of us now with it, raising the prices beyond a reasonable expectation. It's no longer $500, it's up to $700, $200 more. That it's kind of ridiculous. I mean, it's not $3,000 compared to a gaming PC, but in all fairness, you could do a lot more on a gaming PC than you can do on a PS5. Now, before we get heated into this, and before we talk about it, before you start typing your comments and responses about this, let me know what you think about the links down below in the video description. I've collated a list of all the best PS5 Pro accessories down here. I'm always adding stuff, so heart it, bookmark it, follow it from time to time, share it with friends. If you're wanting a resource with all the best PS5 Pro accessories down here, go check it out. You won't regret it. And also, check out the link down below for the best LG OLED TV. I've said it time and time again, if there's one upgrade I would get for gaming, hands down, even over the PS5 Pro, it is an OLED TV, and this is the one that I recommend. I'll also put a link to the Samsung S90D, which people have recommended too, on the list here of the best PlayStation 5 accessories. You'll like it. Trust me, once you start gaming on an OLED, you cannot go back. And lastly, check out Everyday Dose Coffee if you're wanting a better coffee experience, the best coffee, ultimate, the coffee on steroids, one that boosts your energy, elevates your mood, gut health, improves sleep, manages stress, and it's got nootropic mushrooms in. Everyday Dose. Or I got sidetracked there, but yes, Everyday Dose Coffee, it's the bomb. So he was featured in a bunch of interviews last week, and one of the things he did touch on was the fact that not having a Fallout game ready for the show's launch was actually beneficial. How does he work that out? I think it would have been awesome to get a new Fallout game alongside the TV show, right? Because everyone was itching to play Fallout after watching the TV show. After the show ended, everyone was wanting to get into the wastelands and and live Fallout for themselves. But maybe it was beneficial in some ways, because it did build up the hype and it did get people playing a lot more of the older Fallout games. Me, for example, I ended up launching the Fallout 4 on my Steam Deck, which was awesome. But in another interview with Bloomberg specifically, he also mentioned that effectively there's no red line and no limit to porting Xbox games to other consoles following the launch of Pentiment, Grounded, Sea of Thieves, Hi-Fi Rush, and the announcement of Indiana Jones and the Great Circle also coming to PlayStation consoles. And again, I get why they're doing this. They need to make money. They're a company, right? It's a capitalist world. They need to sell something. People need to buy it. And if people aren't buying their consoles, then ultimately these exclusive games, people aren't going to be buying them. And they've got themselves to blame, to be fair, because a lot of their games have been kind of busts, right? Delays after delays, features that were missing, just underwhelming gameplay. So they kind of did this to themselves. This is why people aren't buying an Xbox, because the games have been kind of underperforming, and it's taken them years and years, despite after spending billions of dollars on studios that make games, they're still taking forever to release good games, especially games with storylines like, for example, in comparison, God of War on PlayStation, God of War, Horizon, PlayStation, Spider-Man. PlayStation have been coming out with game after game, banger after banger, and Xbox has just been sitting doing nothing, it feels like. They've been releasing a couple of games, but they've all been underwhelming and not up to what people have been expecting from Xbox. So now Xbox has joined the dark side, and they are releasing their games on PlayStation. And at this point, you kind of ask yourself, why would anyone buy an Xbox if all the Xbox games are going to be on PC and PlayStation, alongside PlayStation's own exclusives? And even on PC, we're getting PlayStation exclusives come to PC now. Why would anyone buy an Xbox? It's the most handicapped of all the systems. Again, this goes to the point, the fact that now PlayStation don't have any competition. They're free to raise the price because they're not having to compete with a certain price point that Xbox are putting theirs out at. They're free to raise the price up to $1,000 or potentially more. Are you willing to spend that? But back to the dig, where Phil Spencer gave a subtle dig at Sony's controversial pricing of the new PS5 Pro console, saying the market will not grow with consoles that cost $1,000. So there we go. But the same could be said about iPhones, right? People were like, people aren't going to buy smartphones if they're $600, $800, $900, over $1,000. Once they hit $1,000, no one's going to buy them anymore. Now look at them. You could spend upwards of $2,000 on a freaking iPhone, decked out. $3,000 potentially. I don't know. I know it's well over $1,000, and people are still buying them, right? But would that hold true the same for consoles? Sony seems to be thinking so, but Phil Spencer over at Xbox, he doesn't agree. He thinks the gaming market will not grow if consoles are costing upwards of $1,000. He says, I feel pretty good where this industry is going to reach new players. We need to be creative, adaptive of new business models, new devices, new ways of access. We're not going to grow the market with $1,000 console. And keep in mind, we also did a video where Xbox has basically confirmed now, through Phil Spencer, that they are working on a gaming handheld to rival something like the Steam Deck, my favorite handheld console. So Xbox handheld coming soon. Stay tuned for that. Subscribe to this channel for news on that. But yeah, the base PS5 Pro costs $699. If you add the optional vertical stand, the disk drive, the price increases over to $800, and that's getting towards gaming PC territory, right? That's twice as much as the launch price of the PS4 Pro, Sony's previous mid-generation console refresh. Double the price almost. And the PS4 Pro included a disk drive, but not a vertical stand. Not like you really needed one. The PS4 Pro was pretty stable even when you did put it on its side. Microsoft hasn't mentioned anything about a mid-generation console refresh for the Xbox Series S and X, probably because that's probably a wise thing, because nobody's buying it. But at the same time, the negative side of that is the fact that Sony don't have any competition anymore. And here they said Microsoft probably calculate that due to the rising manufacturing costs, it would have to offer a console with similar, if not even higher pricing than the PS5 Pro, and decided it wouldn't be a good idea to launch such a console on the market, especially when no one's buying the Xbox, and because all the Xbox exclusives are now going to PlayStation. Who wants to buy an Xbox? Although I will say, Xbox, Phil Spencer, if you're listening, if you allow people to run full Windows on their Xbox, PlayStation's gone. No one's buying a PlayStation anymore. Well, I take that back. People will for the exclusives. But I think if they can allow you to run Windows and have you use your Xbox as a actual full-fledged gaming PC, as well as a console, I think that could turn the tide as far as the console wars are concerned, right? I mean, how cool would that be, being able to have your Xbox Series X on your desk, boot into the console version if you want to, and then switch to desktop and get some work done and use it as a productivity tool as well? That would be sick. I think people would buy them by the millions if they did that. Why haven't they done that yet? And while Microsoft isn't really focused on much much on consoles anymore. They promised the next generation console delivering the biggest leap, likely with the help of machine learning. Their real approach is fully multi-platform, as evidenced by the push on cloud and other consoles. I think, let me know what you think the future of Xbox is. I think they could be hedging their bets on the new next generation, you know, PS6 rival, the new Xbox. Being able to maybe turn the tide in the whole console sales war, right? I think if they could really get their games working, if they can get the new Gears of War, if they can get a new Halo made with running on the Unreal Engine, as we've seen, they're switching to the Unreal Engine. If they can get all these big titles ready to go for the new Xbox, Forza, Gears of War, Halo, Ratchet and Clank, no, I take that back, Fable, and just a bunch of their big hitters, as well as some new titles from all the studios they've made, and have it all lined up ready to go for the Xbox, the new Xbox. I think they could really, and they simplify their UI, and maybe hell, allow us to run Windows as well on it. They could really turn the tide as far as console dominance is concerned. But let me know what you think in the comments. Obviously, this video we're talking about the price increase of consoles going to 700, 800, 900, potentially towards 1,000. Whether that will grow the market or not, like Phil Spencer seems to think. Do you think Xbox is hedging their bets on the next generation of consoles and maybe holding back their software for that? Maybe, you know, being able to skip the mid-generation refresh and not release an Xbox Series X Pro or anything. Maybe we'll give them a little bit of an advantage and a little bit extra time and focus on their next gen console release. I really hope Xbox doesn't just back out of the console market altogether, because if they do, I feel like Sony's got free reign to do whatever the hell they want, release crappy iterational updates, crank up the price to ridiculous prices, because if they don't have Xbox to compete against, they can do whatever they want. Let me know what your thoughts and opinions are down below in the comments. I appreciate them. I appreciate you. Thank you for joining me for this video. And again, go check out the list and the links down below in the video description for some really cool deals, really cool tech, all the best PS5, PS5 Pro accessories. Check out the best TV you can get. Single best upgrade you can get for gaming, movies, TV is an OLED TV, and this is my choice. And go check out Everyday Dose Coffee. There's a really cool deal right now. We can get basically a whole free starter kit with a frother, and use my link down below. Try it for a month. Let me know how it helps you. Might help with a lot of issues if you've got ADHD, if you've got bad anxiety, if you've got poor gut health, if you've been getting bad sleep. This has got nootropic mushrooms in it. It's the bomb. I don't make money. I don't get paid to basically tell you about this. I do get a little bit towards if you use my link, I get a little bit credit towards my next order, because I take this and drink this every day. But yeah, check it out for yourself. Let me know if you like it. If coffee doesn't agree with you, this might. And if you already drink coffee, well, this is better than your normal coffee, all right? Anyways, I love you, I appreciate you. I'm Blaze2K. Like, subscribe, click the bell icon, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.
Let's go.